So I've been thinking about time a lot here in the last week or so. The New Year's is here, holidays have passed, and I always get this sense of excitement and a little bit of angst at the same time, I suppose, around the New Year's. I'd say I've always had a super weird relationship with the milestones of the year, like New Year's or my birthday it's in the summer, it's in June, so a nice little midway point in the year. And in the past, I've definitely been excited when that time comes, but it also kind of is a checkpoint for, a recap and a look back and seeing how much has changed and what hasn't changed, I suppose. And this year, it definitely just doesn't feel as heavy as it has in the past. And that kind of just made me want to stop and reflect a little bit on maybe why that is or why I'm feeling that way. Because in the past, it's always felt a little bit like a loop, I suppose. New Year's comes, okay, we've got all these things that we have planned to accomplish, or, this year is going to be the year that I do this or that. And I'd always catch myself looking back at last year's plans and how I didn't. And I would always, I guess, be a little hard on myself about that. Change obviously doesn't happen all at once. Why would it? It shouldn't. It'd probably be bad if it did. It does happen quietly, and it kind of just happens in the background. Obviously, it's the little choices every day, but it's not really until, New Year's, and I'm looking back, and I'm checking more wins than I did, regrets for the year. A net positive, I'd say. Not so much that this year was about change, but I think that may have been last year. And now I'm just in a progressive year where I actually made some progress, in the right direction, of course. But it seems like there may have been some sort of repetition that I was definitely in, whether I was aware of it or not, or at least even just the feeling, because it definitely came around this year too. I'm not even for sure on how I want to phrase the feeling. Maybe it's just like the feeling of resistance when I would come around New Year's, and when I'd hit my birthday in the summer. Resistance to ideas and new things that I wanted to pursue, and just like an uneasy feeling about it. So I think resistance comes to mind, or at least describing that feeling as resistance comes to mind from a book I read earlier this year, The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield, which if you're in any sort of creative arts honestly, fuck it, if you're into anything, you should definitely read this book. It's incredible. To sum it up, without spoiling it, of course, he basically talks about self-sabotaging and how you will kind of go out of your way to slow progress or to not make any progress at all, just because of this thing called resistance. And obviously I'm not going to go into a whole book breakdown, but he really treats resistance as a physical thing, like a physical entity, like an energy that flows around creative areas. And he kind of points the finger at that, and that's the bad guy of the story. I will say, more than anything, it is nice to kind of be able to visualize this I'm air quoting right now, but enemy. Definitely gives you a chance to kind of point a middle finger at something, because sometimes if not, you're kind of just pointing the middle finger at yourself, and for the most part that's probably true. But it is nice to be able to not feel like it is all just on you. I guess New Year's and obviously my birthday in the summer, it just, I've definitely been here before. I've been here in the same situation. I always go and visit family for both of those occasions, and I'm usually in the same spot, same place, traveling, hitting the same highways, doing the same thing. And that would just kind of get me in that mindset of, did I just do the exact same shit I did last year? Mostly the answer was yes, definitely, for sure. I was definitely just doing the same same fucking thing. But I can look back on this year and be a little bit more proud of the change. I noticed it. I've noticed the change, and that definitely gives me a boost, kind of going into this next year through my habits and not moments, I should say. Because I said it earlier, but I don't feel like any of this showed up extremely loud in a way. I know my last two videos have kind of been about doing hard things and habits, and I guess I'm kind of just reiterating a couple of things that I said in those videos, but it wasn't until the big things like the marathon or now at New Year's where you kind of take a second to reflect or see where you were, where you can actually visualize the change, or you can actually see the map of where things are going or where things have been and where they are now. As a whole, this year feels different to me, in a way of looking back like other years haven't. Not crazy change, not the change that we're, hoping for in this next year. This next year will be another progressive year for it, but it does feel permanent, and that's what I'm kind of hoping for in this next year is more of permanent. That was definitely a word I want to take into 2026 with the things I want to do and the things I want to accomplish, because I want these things to be set in stone for me. Obviously, it's not going to come easy, but those are things that I want to work towards and make them my attributes in a way, my characteristics. And if you feel that same way, I definitely think you're in the right place. This is going to be a place for growth more than anything, for me, for sure. But if you have felt this feeling going into the new year before, or this is even just kind of a feeling you may feel a lot of the time, I know there's definitely been times in my past where this feeling lingered around way longer than it should have, and definitely probably slowed me down a little bit going into the new year, or after my birthday, or just a month or two in, having this uncomfortable feeling. You're not alone in this. Which brings me to the point where I want to talk just a little bit about the channel going into this next year. I know I kind of started this channel towards the end of the year, but I want this channel to be a place for open conversation and open dialogue into things that need to be talked about and said out loud. So if there's ever, something that y'all want to hear, or if there's a topic that you just may need another person to say out loud and you kind of just listen to give you a different perspective, definitely let me know. I want this to be a place for interpretation of my words. If anyone's listening, I will not sit here and raise my hand and act like I know anything. If I'm ever saying some shit, I'll probably say I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm just talking about my feelings, and hopefully that's good enough to get you in your own dialogue with yourself. I think just having a space to speak out loud and be able to hear someone else talk about problems and issues or feelings or thoughts can definitely help you get into your own space with it and can maybe start some growth. Because I've seen a lot of good things this year, and I'm hoping that people can get on that same boat, because I know up until I started seeing this and feeling this change, I was definitely in a position where I was down. I'll just, to say it lightly. I was definitely down on myself. I was down on life. I was down on a lot of things, even though there was not necessarily anything wrong going on. It was just a feeling. I don't want to say I was depressed or anything, but you know, you can just not be like super happy. I don't think you're supposed to be happy all the time. I think a good medium is a great place to be, but you know, that shit can get heavy. So with that being all said, appreciate anyone who's made it this far in the video. I'm definitely going to be, you know, experimenting with different video styles and stuff. Obviously, this open conversation, open commentary will be the standard, but different editing styles and different things until I kind of find something that I really like. So if you're here at these early videos, things will be changing a little bit, but expect a video a week. That's kind of my goal. I definitely can set enough time aside to make a video a week about a topic that I want to talk about or something that's just been on my mind. But that also brings me to the point. Thank you to everyone who watched and liked and commented on the last videos. I appreciate y'all so much. That feedback and those comments definitely you know, pushed me to want to continue, even though I think I'd already set it in my mind that I was going to. There's the change we're talking about. I was going to do this no matter what. But no, thank you to everyone who saw those last videos and got something out of them. Again, that's just the whole purpose of this channel, is to push for growth, and not, you know, just myself, but anyone who gets a chance to listen hopefully can take something away positive, and we can all just be fucking great people together. That sounds like a great time to me. But yes, like I said in my last video, I play a bunch of different games, so hopefully you enjoyed watching this Battlefield 6 in the background. This is Icelock Conquest on Empire State. I do wish they would have made the snowy maps, or like, I wish they would have made multiple maps snowy instead of just Empire State. I don't know how hard it would have actually been to do it, but I feel like it got a little stale. I'm not trying to turn this into a fucking shit on Battlefield 6. I really do enjoy this game. I've played probably way too many hours to actually admit, but I feel like they definitely could have made a couple maps snowy, and maybe that would have gave the game a little juice, because this shit stalled out a little bit after a week or so. I was kind of enjoying Icelock for a second, but after not healing for a little while, this game's already like instant TTK, and not being able to regenerate health is the most frustrating shit in the world. So hopefully whatever happens next with season 2 will be a little bit better. But again, expect all kinds of gameplay in the background. This was never really the point of the videos, but I definitely want to, you know, have something entertaining going on in the background. So expect probably a whole fucking load of games in the background. I play a bunch of different things. So hey, thanks again for listening and making it this far in the video. Hopefully you had a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and hopefully we have a great New Year's. Appreciate everyone. Be safe, and hopefully you had a good day, good morning, or good night. Thank you so much. Peace.